Hey all, I'm back again with another book by Ben Farthing. I found Christmas lights slithering up my street. The last one I reviewed was I Found Puppets Living in My Apartment Walls. I had loved that one so much that I was happy to spend money buying a few more from him. Uh, it's basically part of the I Found series. I use the term series lightly as they have no connection other than something being found. So it's different characters, locations, and scenarios. So it doesn't matter too much if you pick them up in whatever order and start reading. This book starts out with an 11-year-old boy decorating an empty house with Christmas lights and decorations. The town he is in has been building new houses, and the main part of town is separated from his house, originally by empty land, but now are new houses being built, but are still empty. Him and his two friends have gone around the town borrowing and taking decorations for this empty house, a few down from where he lives. He goes on to think about why he is doing this and Christmas as a whole. He has not been celebrating Christmas this year as it marks the 1 year anniversary that his little sister died. This totally got me, the poor thing. I feel like all throughout this book there is an undertone of sorrow that gets to you. So, 1 year ago on that day, his little sister had snuck out the house. They were not sure why, perhaps to see the Christmas lights, and her body had been found later frozen to death in the snow. One of his friends' dad was the one who discovered the body. Since then, he has been feeling empty and lost. His parents have also changed, and his mother has spent a lot of time crying and staring into space. Christmas is a hard time for them, but Douglas, the main character, wanted to bring back some of the joy they had. He wanted to remember Christmas as it had been and not as a day to remember the loss they suffered. He feels that if he can just decorate this house and show his parents, then maybe they will realize that Christmas can still be a good thing and help fix things. As he is decorating the house, he notices a strange light source coming from the drain and goes to investigate. It is a trail of Christmas lights glowing in a strange, not purple, not red color. And it is slithering up the street from inside the drain. He grabs a piece of it and tries to pull it out so he can use it to decorate the house. He gets images and senses of Christmas biscuits baking, of tinsel and a warm fire, of presents and families coming together. He drops the lights and hears the sound of carolers singing. The sound is coming from the drain. He puts his face close to where the drain is and sees inside. There are four people dressed in old Victorian era clothing singing, except they look strange. They have no mouths. He hears his mother calling him back in, so has to leave to go home. Yes, this is indeed a creepy start to the story. It made me flinch when he was touching the strange lights and putting his face so close to the entrance of the drain. And now we are up to the spoiler section. So hang tight, guys. So the story continues, and I'm not going to give you a blow by blow account. If you want that, go read the book. So, as Douglas's parents go to bed early without their Christmas routine, and he is left feeling more alone than ever, he sneaks out and is on his way to finish what he started when he notices that the Christmas lights have spread and are starting to take over, having covered most of the newly built houses and continuing to snake towards outwards towards the town. This is where the truly weird stuff starts happening. He notices that the carolers are at the front step of one of the houses and are singing. He goes to his friend's house, Harold, which is one of the two that were helping him decorate the empty house. Harold drags him inside and tells him to hurry in case the carolers see him. They are at the window watching as the neighbour comes out and is strangely transformed into a reindeer decoration. More and more, as the lights slither and the carolers sing, the town starts warping into strange shapes. Christmas decorations that are not quite right. Some scream in pain and terror, others are consumed. One of the more horrific ones was Harold's grandmother, who had been consumed and parts of her found floating in decorative baubles. This goes on, and all Douglas can worry about is that his Christmas is once again being ruined. He feels both empty inside and like this is his fault. They decide to go to his other friend's house, David, because he always has solutions. They manage to convince him to help, and they gain a piece of the lights to study. Now, I am skipping a lot here, but I don't want to spoil too much. David says that the strands of lights are made of smaller strands, almost like a plant, like the invasive kudzu plant that strangles everything in its path. They decide to try and spray it with weed killer, and it seems to be helping. The problem is they don't have heaps of weed killer and need to stop this thing before the whole town is destroyed. They decide to head to the sewers and track down where this is coming from and try to kill it at its source. Now, when I got to this part, I had some theories floating in my head about what might be happening in the story. My initial theory was that it was the spirit of Douglas's dead sister wanting to bring Christmas back, but because it had been a year since her death, it is strange and something long forgotten. That would have been kind of cool, but also predictable. Super spoilers now, so turn back for your own good. And if you continue and spoil it for yourself, don't come crying to me. So here we are. They have tracked the slithering lights back to its source, deep within the drains, and it is coming from a strange eggplant shaped protrusion. Like some sort of seed with roots growing from it, which turn into the lights as it snakes up the drain pipe. They see a hole in the cement above, which goes all the way up to the night sky. I think the suggestion is that it is potentially an alien life form, but of a vegetation nature rather than your typical aliens. That it might have come down like a meteor and hit the earth and then started sprouting and growing. I think this might be right. The plants start to attack along with the carolers, and they keep trying to get Douglas and ignoring the others. He says to his friends that it must be his fault. He's empty inside, and this plant can feel it and wants to implant in his torso and grow and take over. His friends manage to convince him that he's not empty. He's not alone. That he is still himself despite the tragedy of losing his sister. They manage to defeat the plant, and the rest start to decay into a grey ash that covers the town. When they emerge from the drains, they find the town is back to normal, and the people who had been transformed are now back to themselves. Even the grandmother, who had been dismembered. Douglas's parents find him and hug him, so relieved that he is okay. He finally opens up to them about how he feels. It's heartbreaking, really, that feeling of loss and the fear to connect to others around you who may be feeling the loss as well. Not sure if you can talk because the hurt is a barrier to you connecting and healing. Man, this was a great story. Like, it was certainly strange and Ben Farthing's usual style from what I know of reading his stuff, but somehow he makes it work, and I cannot recommend him enough. You really need to check out his books for yourself. Let me know in the comments, have you read any of his books and what did you think of them? My next and current read is I Found a Circus Tent in the Woods Behind My House. So far, it's on par with what I've read of the rest of his stuff. Holy cow. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. Bye!